What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense, and things are about to move extremely fast. So you're going to want to like, subscribe. Last night, we talked about Jay-Z and Diddy's lawsuit involving a minor. The allegation, well, check out the video from last night if you haven't seen it. I went over the entire lawsuit, and I also went over Jay-Z's lawsuit against Busby. But today, I promised you guys that I would go in and read the entire 235-page Busby lawsuit, in addition to going over all of the cases so far that Busby has filed to cross-reference to see if any of them involved a minor boy. Let's tell you guys why I'm doing that, though. So in this 235-page Busby complaint, Jay-Z basically tells on himself. If you look at it closely, it says, through a series of media statements and lawsuits describing the acts of unnamed individual defendants, Busby made his threats to his celebrity targets clear. Pay exorbitant sums of money to remain anonymous or be publicly named and shamed. Offered up to the FBI for criminal investigation and accused of vile acts and statements to the media. After making the consequences of the noncompliance with his shakedown clear, defendants closed in their targets, sending demand letters to high-profile individuals, including plaintiff John Doe, which we now know to be Jay-Z, accusing them of participating in Combs' crimes. Now, also, what was funny is Jay-Z definitely has distanced himself from Diddy. He basically said, I don't know that ninja. I just see him occasionally at a party. We talked about it all last night. But back to this. In November 2024, defendants made demands written by correspondents, extortion demands, to plaintiff claiming false allegations of vile conduct by plaintiff, who extortion demands characterized as having been friends with Mr. Combs based on the fact that the two often attended similar events frequented by celebrities. The extortion demands alleged that Jay-Z R-worded multiple minors, both male and female, who have been drugged at parties hosted by Combs. In the extortion demands, defendants further threatened to find an untold number of other victims to bring claims similar against Jay-Z, that because the specious allegations in the demand had been made for it, there would certainly be more. So let's get into this. Demand letters were sent stating that there were multiple male and female minors who had been drugged at parties. So I knew that, we reviewed the one with the 13-year-old girl after the VMAs. The only other one that I found is this one, and it's about a 10-year-old boy who was trying to become an actor and a rapper. If you go through it, Diddy violated this little boy, allegedly. But there is nothing that indicates a celebrity A. So this complaint cannot be the one involving Jay-Z, which means that there is pending litigation that we should see more than likely in the next few weeks involving Jay-Z and underage boys and girls. Let that sink in. Jay-Z basically told us what was to come in this Busby lawsuit, thinking that he would not be named because there was no way Busby could legally name him, except for the fact that Busby is Jane Doe, or I don't know which Jane Doe she is, but Busby's client is suing Jay-Z. So he was able to name Jay-Z that way. He would not have been able to name Jay-Z directly. This is absolutely crazy. We are now in a space where multiple underage boys and girls have alleged that they were taken advantage of by Jay-Z. And I say alleged because they have not been disclosed yet. Jay-Z let us know in the lawsuit. I know that there's going to be a lot of people who may feel like Diddy is guilty, but maybe not Jay-Z. I would just say keep an open mind. Look at each case individually and the merits of the case before just blanketly making a statement. Do I believe that Jay-Z and Diddy are capable? Absolutely. I never expected this. To be honest with you guys, when there was a John Doe suing Busby for extortion, I really thought that John Doe was Kevin Hart. I would never have thought it was Jay-Z taking this kind of stand, but he took the stand anonymously. He had no idea that this media storm was about to come when they decided to unmask him in the Busby lawsuit of the 13-year-old girl who was taken advantage of after the 2000 VMAs. But considering what I've been seeing in the media, I like to come and give you guys kind of like an advance notice of what you're going to be seeing. This is very plain. Jay-Z is considering himself a family man, and any of the news outlets who report like this, have some type of connection to Jay-Z. Jay-Z shares heartbreak for his and Beyonce's kids after denying R-word allegation. Let me see. Sean Carter, 55 years old, is being sued by a 13-year-old girl for the R word. He vehemently denied the allegation in a statement, which also included an acknowledgement of how he and his wife, Beyonce, would have to handle the situation with their children, including 12-year-old daughter, Blue Ivy, and twins, Rumi and Sir. So he, who Jay-Z is now is not who Jay-Z was in the 90s. We're talking someone who, at 12 years old, pow-powed their brother who was on crack for trying to steal their money. In the 90s, he stabbed and he was a drug dealer. So Jay-Z, who we see now, is not who Jay-Z was, but he is definitely using the family image to sway public opinion. We know that he's good at swaying public opinion because he has marketed himself for over 30 years. In addition to that, we know that his attorneys were doing opposition research on Busby already, calling everybody, following people, family members, and everything else. So he is going to play up this family persona. So let's get into that real quick. Where is it? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. My only heartbreak is for my family, Jay-Z shared in a statement with E! News. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their age. It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. Did you explain to her why you were putting drugs in the community when you were younger? Selling drugs to people's moms and dads? You glorified it in your music. And I'll admit, Jay-Z was not my favorite, but after Big died, I think I moved more to like DMX. But Jay-Z, I definitely had a good chunk of his albums. So, I mean, maybe I'm part of the problem too for listening to it, but that's neither here nor there. It is interesting that you are playing up the family man thing so early. Not saying he's not a family man, not saying that maybe he hasn't changed his ways, but we're going to see because there are more pending lawsuits involving minors that he has told us about. So let's move on to him suing Busby anonymously. But today, this literally just dropped. He was successful in getting the Jane Doe, who was 13 allegedly, unmasked. This is moving quick. I want to show you guys. Here we go. Now this is from the judge. She goes into detail in this order. I wanted to specifically talk about the public opinion. Okay, public interest factors. The eighth factor weighs whether the public's interest in the litigation is furthered by revelation of the plaintiff's identity. Plaintiff identifies the public interest in protecting assault victims so that others will not be deterred from reporting crime. The court agrees that this is certainly a public interest. However, this has been repeatedly rejected by courts in the district as an adequate basis for by itself to warrant anonymity. Furthermore, the public's interest in protecting sexual assault victims is not the only interest implicated here. There is also a public interest in the accused being able to publicly confront an accuser, a right that would be undermined by plaintiff's anonymity. The public also has a legitimate interest in knowing the underlying facts of a litigation, including the identities of litigants. So I wanted to move down so you guys can see it for yourself. For the foregoing reason, the court denies plaintiff's motion to proceed anonymously, but stays the effect of this order until after the court decides the pending motion for judgment on the pleadings. Basically, Jane Doe has to come forward. Now, I told you guys that there's going to be more pending lawsuits. I can guarantee you now that Busby is talking to whatever underage male and female victims that he sent Jay-Z demand letters for, letting them know you might have to be unmasked. So I'm not sure if he'll wait until this motion for judgment of proceedings happens before he actually starts filing the other lawsuits, or he has to see if his clients are comfortable proceeding with their names out there for the world. Either way it goes, Jay-Z then told us that there's more underage victims, specifically more underage boys and girls. As always, you can follow this channel. I do the work. I cross-reference. I call attorneys. I talk to victims. I talk to survivors. If you are new to the channel, if you're not new to the channel, you know all these things. But I want to say thank you again. We hit 200,000 subscribers this past weekend, and I think already at 200,000 and 201,000. So there are new people. If something else pops off, I will definitely see you guys tonight for a live. I want you guys to put in the comments because I know it's a mixed bag right now. Do you believe Jay-Z actually was capable of these things? Or do you feel, because I see a lot of people saying this, that like Meek, Jay-Z, Diddy's special friend Meek is saying that, it's just another ploy to take down this man. But he said the same thing until he saw Diddy actually beating on Cassidy. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I will be back if something else pops off. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.